Hello, this is Broyar, and welcome to a brand new Let's Play series for a brand new game called Old World. This game actually just came out as of the time of the recording today, but by the time you see this, probably be a couple days ago. I guess it came out on May 5th, if you want to know the actual time. This is still technically an early access game, but as far as I'm concerned, it's about as complete a game as you're going to see from an early access game. It's incredibly complete, very playable. It's definitely, so far, been a lot of fun. I actually started a couple episodes of it and then realized that I had some settings wrong on my recordings, and so the videos were bad. So I'm kind of sad because I thought we were doing okay. That's okay. I didn't get super far. I only played like for about an hour. Not a big deal. We're going to start back over here in a second, but I did want to read you for the little blurb on the Epic Game Store. This is an exclusive currently on the Epic Game Store. It's not on Steam or anything else like that. Here's the blurb about this game on the store. It says, conquer the old world in this historical epic strategy game from Soren Johnson, lead designer of Civilization 4 and Offworld Trading Company. Every year is a turn, and each leader is a mere mortal. So your lasting legacy will be the dynasty you leave behind. A couple really key things about this. First of all, Soren Johnson, lead designer of Civilization 4 and Offworld Trading Company. I've played both of those games. Obviously, Civilization 4 quite a bit more than Offworld Trading Company because Civilization is a big mainstay on this channel. Now, I have not featured Civilization 4 on this channel before, I don't think. But I did feature a little bit of what was it, Colonization, which is off the Civilization 4 engine. I don't know if Soren Johnson was involved in Colonization specifically, but you know, we've seen Civilization 4. Civilization 4 is a great game. Offworld Trading Company, still a good game. It's not really my cup of tea. I'm a little bit more a fan of the Civilization type games. But this is definitely a lot like a Civilization game. In fact, it's a lot like a Civilization game mixed with a little bit of maybe Crusader Kings, because you do have a leader, just like any Civilization game would, but that leader can grow old and die. You can also get married, you can have children, you can have heirs, you can get experience, you can get better at certain things. He can be a general, he can be a governor, he can be all sorts of crazy things, and we're going to see more of that as we get into the game. But this game is going to remind you a lot of Civilization, but it's going to have some cool twists that are very unique, and I think they gives this game a lot of uniqueness. Is it better than Civilization? I don't know. It's hard to say. I think that's probably up to you to be the decider. I'm definitely having fun with it, just like I would with any Civilization game. So for me, it's at least equal, I think, in a lot of ways. There's definitely some things I like about this game that are better. So we'll see. Let's go ahead and get into the game here. We're going to jump into single player. They do have a couple other options here. They got, I guess, cloud load scenario. Neither one of those is loaded at the moment because I don't have the test branch loaded. I just have the main branch. There's a featured game and a game of the week. Both of those kind of start you off with I guess, a set civilization and things of that nature. But we'll go ahead and jump into a new game. And we have seven kingdoms, or not kingdoms, what am I trying to say? 7 nations here that we can choose from. We have Assyria, we have Babylonia, Carthage, Egypt, Greece, Persia, and Rome. A lot of these are very, very big mainstays for any type of historical 4X or civilization type game. Obviously, yeah, especially Egypt and Rome. We've seen these guys many, many times over. The last game I started a little bit of Rome. Again, I only played for about an hour when I realized that the videos were corrupted. So I got to play him a little bit, but we are going to do the same thing I did last time. We are going to set this on random. I also set it on Glorious last time, which felt okay, at least initially. Barbarian levels are strong compared to normal if you go down to one of these other options. Raid chance is a 6%, which is a little bit higher. We get +1 fatigue for barbarians. A little bit less resources, it looks like, maybe, and a little bit more unhappiness in our cities. Glorious, we'll start with that. If we actually get through this and it feels like it's pretty easy, we may bump it up next time if we decide to play again, which there's a good chance we will. I think this game has a place on the channel. I was playing on the medium size last game. It felt a little small, I'll be honest. Our neighbors were very, very close. And so I think I'm going to jump it up to a large to see if it's a little bit different. I'll leave it on random, though, and kind of go from there. So there's a bunch of advanced setup stuff. I'm not going to mess with any of that stuff right now. We could even type in the seed if we wanted to. We'll just start with things the way they are right here. Who are we going to get? By the way, I did turn off the music. I think the music is potentially licensed. I would probably cause us some issues on YouTube, unfortunately. It's very unfortunate because I think the music is actually pretty cool. But, it is what it is. I guess we're starting as Rome again. The game really wants you guys to get to see Rome. Just It's like, no, has to be Rome. Unfortunately, last time we were on Rome, we actually were on a coastal city, which was really cool. It does not appear there is any coast anywhere, although we do see lots of really cool mountains. I mean, the graphics in this game are very, very beautiful, incredibly awesome. But yeah, so here we go. Here's our city. Now, the thing that's different about this game that you see in some other like Civ type games and things like that is that normally you could build your city anywhere you want to. In this game, you are restricted to these urban sites. And as you can see here, we got 6 choices here. Some urban sites, some of these city sites have less than that. I've even seen some down to 2. I don't know if there may be some that's all the way down to 1, which would be, I guess, no choice at all. But we can put it anywhere here, and you can see we get some immediate city borders right away. For example, down here, it would actually come down here, reach out, and pick up this this wheat over here. Wheat is good for growth and things like that. That might be a good option. Up here, we get this ore, it looks like. Actually, I guess the south one gets the ore as well. Both of these also get this marble over here, which would be really, really good. My last game, I actually didn't have any stone next to me, so it would be good to have stone right away. Do we see any other resources that jump out at us that we can get one way or another? I'm actually leaning towards this build because it does get us that wheat, because a lot of places maybe you can put a farm, a granary, things like that. Still keeps us with the stone, or the marble, I should say. Still keeps us with the ore. What's over here? It's just a shrub, I should say. Something like this might be good. Plus, it does put us on the south side of this river. And if we have any enemies coming across from the north, I assume it's similar to any other 4X game, attack across the river. Usually a bad idea. So I think moving across here is a great idea. And it allows us to pick up the wheat right away. One thing you'll notice is that we can move this settler all over the place. And so he has these little dots up here, and this is his fatigue level. Now, fatigue level is say he has 2 movement points. I can move him 2 points, 2 movements, worth, and that's 1 fatigue. And I can move him 2 more. That's a 2nd fatigue. I can move him 2 more. It's a 3rd fatigue. So effectively, if this guy has 2 movement points, I can move him with 8 movement points worth, because that's his max fatigue. Now, every movement does consume these orders over here. We only get a certain number of orders per year. I think we get, 8 per year or something like that. It does go up based off of legitimacy and some other things, I think. But right now, I think we only have 8, which means we have to be very careful. If I move this guy 4 orders worth, I only have 4 left to move any other units in the game. Now, obviously, we only have 1 unit right now, which is our settler. So it's okay that I moved him like this. You don't have to use all of your orders. Any orders that are left over get turned into gold, and so that's a good way to do it. Now, it's only worth like 9 gold or something like that, 9 or 10 gold, something of that nature. So most of the time, you're going to want to use up all your orders, because there's probably more that you want to do that's within 9 gold worth, but you don't have to. So we're going to move him here. We're going to go ahead and settle this. Now, here's another little twist that you don't normally see in games like this. We have 4 families to choose from. All of the civilizations have 4 families. Now, these 4 families, I'm trying to do this. I just realized my hand was not that high. These 4 families, they have different bonuses and different features and different things that are available to them. For example, here you can see this guy, Claudius, gets more growth, gets more food, can grow bigger, gives you 2 citizens right away. You can buy tiles, things of that nature. Fabius here gives us more military stuff. Valerius gives us more, looks like maybe some culture things related to culture. And then Julius is a statesman. He gives us a little bit of the civic stuff. The civic stuff is these hammers up here. Which one you pick, does make a difference. Now, you can eventually pick up to 3 of these throughout the game. As you settle new cities, you can settle different families, and you get to pick 3 of them. Once you pick the 3rd one, that's all you get. The 4th one is just out there. I don't know. He's off in no man's land somewhere. So that does give you a little bit of changeability between each time you play this game. So that may be kind of interesting. I mean, I don't know if there's a right, wrong, or indifferent, thing. The Fabius ones does give us, our units start with steadfast, which gives them a bonus towards barbarian attacks. So that can be pretty useful pretty early on. I think I'm going to do the same thing I did in the last game. I didn't get very far in the game to see if it was a bad move or not, but I'm going to pick Claudius here. And the reason I'm going to pick Claudius is because, it gives us that growth. And usually in games like this, you want that early growth. So we're going to pick Claudius here. And here's a little information about the orders. Let's see here. What else we got to go on here that I would like to tell you about? So here's Romulus. Romulus is our king. He has a brother here who's our current heir. Remus is very angry with us right now. So we probably want to get married pretty quickly and be able to get another heir, because I mean, that may make a difference in how he treats us and things like that. We don't know. But I still think it's probably good for us to get a different heir. A couple other things to look at. Here's our ambition screen. This is one of the victory conditions, is if you fill out all 10 of these ambitions, and ambitions are like quests, so to speak, you win the game that way. Another way to win the game is to get more points than our opponents. Get a 30 points, I should say, before our opponents do. Right now we're at 1 of 30. I don't know how long it takes to get to 30. We don't know. Looks like we get them from cities, we get them from legendary cities, and we get them from wonders. So, you know, probably early on you'll get quite a few, and then it'll probably slow down because eventually the city sites you'll lose. You know, you won't have very many of them. You'll use up all the spots, and then you'll have to kind of focus on the wonders and the legendary cities to get the score to go up. Here's our primogenitor. Here's a mama, our mother. She's I assume she's somewhere here. I don't think she's dead or anything. But here's her stat. She's got charisma. She's got negative discipline. We actually have negative discipline as well, which does not make us a very good military leader. We have negative courage. Also probably hurts our military side of things. But we do have a lot of wisdom, which is going to help our science side of things. And then we have Remus over here. He's got a lot of courage, a little bit of wisdom as well. He's a tactician. So, and we can change laws, which would change how we do the heirs and things of that nature. We're not going to mess with that right now anyway. Although we do apparently have enough to change that, it looks like. We don't have another heir anyway. Here's our laws screen. We do have 2 currently available to us based on the research that we start with. Centralization here and vassalage. Now we do need 400 civics points to be able to do anything with this. Right now we're only at 200. We're gaining 8 returns, so that's not something we're gonna be able to mess with right now. Here's our religion. Again, you need 400 to do anything here, as well as some I think technologies and things like that. We're obviously not gonna mess with it right now as well. Here's our log and timeline of different things. So cool. That's a way for us to look at our history. Here's our tech tree. Now the tech tree is different. I mean, it is a tech tree like you normally see. In order to get to, say, political reform over here, I do have to work my way through that path, as you can see. The difference is that we're only offered a set number of these decisions every time we pick the research. And so as of right now, I think we're offered, I don't know, we'll have to see in a second, but we're not going to be offered all 5 of these. We're only going to be offered maybe 3 or 4 of them, depending on, you know, certain settings. So we may not be able to go for exactly what we want to go for. Let's say I want to go for phalanx so I can get spearmen. Well, I may not get ironworking offered up to me, so I may have to wait. Actually, it looks like we may already have ironworking because we have warriors, don't we? Maybe we don't. I actually don't know what we have right away. I think we do have ironworking, and I think we have divination as well, because I think we can build shrines. So it looks like the ones that are highlighted we already have. Stone cutting, because it has an exclamation mark, maybe we don't have that one. So maybe it's the gray outlines that we already have. I don't know. We'll have to check that out. Here's our cities. We have Rome. Here's all the things that Rome produces. Here's a kind of a different type of map view, I guess. And then there's the help screen. So I'm sure there will be lots of good information there. And we can also see a replay of the last turn, apparently. Here's all the different resources. In fact, we'll escape out of this real quick. We have money. We have food. We have iron. We have wood, I guess. Stone. Science, which makes sense. You want to build science. Civics helps us to get some of the civic tree things, some of the laws and things like that. And then we have training rate, which allows us to do stuff with our training our units and things of that nature. And then we also have luxuries over here on the end. Here's the different families, characters. We only have 1 family currently because we didn't pick one of the other cities yet. But as we pick those other cities, these other families will fill out. You'll see the different family unit members and things of that nature, and how much they like us and things of that nature. Here's the empire we know about. Here's our, I guess these are our cities. And then here's all of our units. So lots of different options here. The UI is actually very, very clean. Very, very nice to use. All right, so what do we start with? We start with a worker, which you can build certain things. We'll come back to that in a second. We start with a warrior. Again, typical. Go attack certain things. And we also start with a scout. Now, scouts are actually civilian units. You can see they're circled just like the worker here. They do have a defense, which just like a worker, they have 3 defense. They move faster, and they can move more fatigue points. They have 5 fatigue points and a movement of 3, so they can move pretty far. Also, scouts have a little bit of stealth. I think if they go into a forest or something like that, I think they're technically invisible or something of that nature. So, we definitely want to come over here and pick up these ancient ruins. These are like goody huts in civilization. So, I think that's definitely going to be our first move. That will use up 3 of our orders. Let's do our worker first, because I think this is actually going to be very important. Oh, that's going to use up 3 of our orders to come down here to use this, which is okay. I think this is more important. 3 to get here, and then we're going to have to use 1 order to actually start working on the thing. And I think that's still very important. We want to get the farm started building. So we'll get that going, which does mean we can't quite get all the way over here. We'll move them as far as we can, and that'll just have to be. We'll get that next turn. Oh, look, we already see a second city site. That is really, really good. We definitely want to start working on a settler as soon as we can. Looks like we don't have enough orders, obviously, to move the warrior, but that's going to be okay. Here is our research screen. We can do quarry, slinger camp, treasury, granary. It does recommend we go for the granary first, which is probably okay. We do want to get stone cutting at some point, but I think this is probably okay. Go with the recommendations for a lot of these things. And then we're going to go look at the city real quick. So here's the city screen. One of the things you're going to see is you can very easily see what the city is producing as part of our total empire stuff. 8 civics, 12 science, 10 training, 5.4 income, etc. Currently, it starts off, they default you to building a settler right away, which I think is a really, really smart move. You'll notice that the settler takes up 14.4 growth, which is all of our growth. Therefore, we're actually not growing as a city right now. But that's okay. We got to get a settler out. That's actually pretty normal for games like this. You use settlers usually stop your city from growing. Actually, the way it's going to work is all of these units, I believe, will stop your city from growing because they use up the growth section. In fact, the more growth you have, I think the faster these will work. Build. I don't think you use production like a normal sense. I think you use these different points. Training is how fast we can build the warrior. Civics is how fast we can build these festivals and the council. Festival is another one. It's recommended ones. This is a repeatable project that once we finish it, we'll get the bonus that's on there, which is +1 culture per year. It also does an on-completion event of getting us some growth and lowering some of our unhappiness. But then we can build even stronger festivals every time we build it. So it's just an ongoing project. We do have 3 citizens right away. The citizens can be used to improve certain tiles after we've built the initial improvement on them. They can be specialists. So as soon as we build this farm over here, we can also add a citizen over here to make the farm even better. All right, I think that's everything we can do on the first turn. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn. Every turn is a year, so our guy's going to get a year older now. Looks like we are going to get a tutorial for marriages, maybe. Although we don't have anybody that we can marry right now, I don't think. Our worker's already working. We don't need to worry about him. I do want to go ahead and move you up to here. We got survivors. This village has only recently been sacked, and we discovered a band of survivors huddled in its ruins. These destitute refugees seem eager to abandon the wreckage of their old lives and join our nation, but they are strangers to our culture. What will you do with them? We can get a little bit of a training rate and get a worker, or we can get another scout. A second scout wouldn't be bad. Now, granted, we don't have a lot of orders, to be fair. So, I don't know. It's a good question. Early on, I usually like to try and get 2 scouts pretty quickly. So I'm leaning towards the scout side of things. It does actually get us 3 orders right now for what it's worth. But let's go for the scout. I think it's going to be fine. I think our 1 worker is going to be enough for us for right now. And we'll go that route. All right, so this other scout that we have is going to start heading this direction. There's Mount Vesuvius. Is it a volcano? It is a volcano. Ooh. We got some, looks like we got a little bit of iron just for discovering this ore over here. And we can also harvest these resources. Even though it's not within our borders, I can stick this guy over here and harvest this to get a little bit of stuff back in my home territory. I can harvest this to get 6 iron right now. We're actually not producing any iron right now. Getting 6 sounds pretty good. Now, harvesting it doesn't consume it. It does regenerate over time. So it does take us an order, though, to do this. I think that's going to be okay, though. I think harvesting things as we go going to be just fine. We don't know about any barbarians yet, so I think I'm okay with my warrior still being back home. We don't have another worker to move, so I think I can move this guy, honestly, as far as I'm able to. Since this guy went east, I'm going to send this guy back west. Oh, we got some gems up here. Let's sneak up there. Oh, now we see some barbarians. We can go ahead and harvest these gems as well. We are at our fatigue limit, but looks like we can go ahead and spin our last order here, harvesting those. I do want to send our warrior up here to start going after these barbarians in a minute, but you know what? I'm actually going to do that now. We'll harvest at the beginning of next turn, if I remember. Let's get this warrior heading up this way. That way we can go after this guy before he becomes an outpost in 22 years. That's all of our orders. Literally nothing else we can do. We could go ahead and promote this guy. We do have enough military training to do that. Maybe it's a good idea. I don't think we can do it right now because we did just move. But we could also get XP and make that even cheaper. So that might be a better option. All right, so here's our scout. You've already harvested here. So we're going to go ahead and start moving you around some more. Looks like there might be a little bit of a path through here. I kind of want to circle this city site first, though. Let's do that. Get an idea of what the city has in store for it, because we are about to get a settler that can come up here. Oh, we found us another hut. I also found some citrus, which presumably will get us some food. Let's do the... I see hut. Ancient ruins. Let's do the ruins first. Gold workers. This hidden jungle city boasts a hoard of gold jewelry, pendants, lip plugs, nose ornaments, necklaces, and earrings. All the workmanship at the site displays the same signature style and an unparalleled skill with gold. Such a trove of gold is always welcome, of course. There are many ways to utilize it. Increase the treasury. Pretty good amount of money. That's almost, it's a little bit more than 50% of what we got now. Send it to our troops. Pretty good amount of training as well. Or study the craftsmanship. Gives us a little bit of science right now, but also gives King Romulus some XP. Right now we have, let's see. Doesn't say how much XP we have. Maybe because we have 0, so it's not actually listing it. But as we level up, we get better and better. And since we're still really young, I kind of think the XP might be really good. I mean, we're going to get more of both of these. And obviously we're going to get more science. But the XP might be hard to come by. I don't know. I think we'll go with the XP. Study the craftsmanship. We found some more barbarians. Found another mountain over here. Let's backtrack and pick up the citrus here. I think that's going to be okay. And we're going to go ahead and harvest the citrus. Get us a little bit of food. It's not a bunch, but it's something. Maybe it's not worth an order. I don't know. Food is, if I wanted to buy 6 food, it would cost me 24 gold. If I save that order, it costs me 10 gold. That's kind of how I've been kind of evening out. I do think I want to go ahead and harvest these gems as well. That's actually going to give us a little culture back in Rome. That's pretty awesome. Although I do also want to move you. Choices, choices. Let's go ahead and harvest the gems. That does mean I don't have very many moves left. I mean, having 2 scouts, maybe that was a really bad idea. We don't have enough moves to support 2 scouts, possibly. Let's go ahead and keep moving you up here. I'm just going to keep you on the left side of the river. And it looks like we can choose another research. We can get a pasture. We can get garrison, which will allow us to get, or the sovereignty, which allows us to get garrison for like a governor or something. We get rhetoric. Gets us different laws and things. We got monasticism, which gives us monasteries and things of that nature. Do we have horse, cattle, sheep, pigs, goats? No. I mean, the garrison could be useful. It's an urban building that gives us half an order per year. Interesting. We do have enough marble to cover the stone cost. And it is the recommended one. Let's go for sovereignty. All right. That is the end of our turn. Man, these orders are going fast. Maybe 2 scouts was a bad idea. All right, worker is ready to go. We definitely want to prioritize him as much as possible. They're saying a farm up here. I also think a mine would be really good. We're actually losing mining stuff right now. Although more farms means more food. You know, different things. It is lush because it's 40%. If we move over here, we can actually go ahead and move here first. Just to see. Another thing, by the way, that I haven't talked about is we do have an undo button here, which is completely unique for 4X games like this. I can literally undo that move. And I'm starting like as if it didn't happen. So, I mean, I can move again, undo both of those. I can literally undo. I think you can only undo within a single turn, but you can literally undo it the entire turn. Now, there's probably ways to game that. I could probably come up here and explore something and then undo and then explore a different direction. Maybe. I don't know if that works. I'm probably going to enforce a little bit of my own personal rule on it and just say I'm only going to undo if I legitimately made a mistake. Because I think any other way kind of feels a little cheap. But yeah, it's kind of a cool feature. So what that does allow me to do, though, is move up here and allows me to see. I can hover over this farm and see where else I can build farms and see how good those farms are. Because if you can see on the tile itself, it's hard for me to, every time I move, obviously it goes away. But if you see under the bottom of the tiles themselves, it tells you how much food we would get for each of these. I actually would get 7 on the ore over here, which is interesting. But of course, I don't want to put a farm on top of the ore. I might want to put a farm here, though. Because then I could put like a granary or something like that between that and this other farm, put maybe some other farms around it, and give them a nice little boost. So, I think I will go ahead and follow what it says. I feel like farm, food, growth is always a good idea. So let's go ahead and do that. That does give us down to 6 orders now. So I still want to keep looking around this city. This is going to be our next city site. See what's going on here. We do have pigs over there we could have gone and harvested. Still want to also move the military unit up here. Let's move the military unit. It's going to take us 4 to get up to here. I think I'm going to use my last 4 moves to get it close to this barbarian city. And then next turn we'll be able to be in a position to attack. Again, man, having this few orders is rough. -1 construction, +2. I mean, more legitimacy apparently would get us more, but wow, it is hard. It's painful. All right, let's go into the year. Looks like we got our settler now, so we can go and go for our next city. Oh, he has a range of 1, or a range of what is his range? Looks like a range of 2. So he was able to hit us from there. But that's okay. We are going to go ahead and move this guy up here because I do want to go ahead and start this attack. So we use a couple of our orders, but I want to get that going. We have the settler. The worker's still doing his thing, so we don't need to worry about him. The settler, however, we do want to move as far as we can. Looks like all of these will cover that harvested ore, which maybe I wish I hadn't harvested. I don't know, but I actually think it's going to work out okay because I think it'll probably regenerate itself quickly enough. I don't see anything else drawing into... Oh, there's barley right here. Wow, I didn't see the barley. Well, all of these appear to have the barley. I'm thinking about just putting it on the city site location here. I don't see anything else that's better than the other. Does feel a little scary being right next to Mount Vesuvius. Feel like bad things have happened for cities being next to Mount Vesuvius. I could be wrong. Let's go ahead and move out this way. It's only going to move up to its fatigue limit, and then the rest of the way will come next. Scout. So we have 4 moves left. You've already moved. I may just move you over here. Harvest the sheep. That'll be 2 orders, and then I may move the other scout a little bit. Not sheep, sorry, pigs. Only gives us 3 food though. Maybe that's not worth it. That becomes less worth it than the 6 food we got earlier. You know what? I don't think that's actually worth it. I'm actually going to take 1 more order with you. Move you back up this way. See what else is over here. All right, the other 2 orders I'm going to use you though, because I'd kind of like to push out these borders as well. Could come up here to the salt. Let's see what the salt would give us. Salt would give us a little bit of culture. Now the culture, if you get that in your capital, once you get it up to 50, as you can see, we're at 8 of 50 in Rome. Culture is that little pillar-looking thing that's blue. It's like the top of a marble pillar, I think. Once we get up to 50, we get a special event happens, and effectively Rome levels up. So getting culture is always a good thing. 2 cultures, though, is that worth it? Don't know. That's a good question. I mean, I think any culture is going to be good for us. So let's just see if we can keep pushing the culture, and I think that's going to be okay. That does use up all of our orders, I believe. We do have some build we can do out of Roma here. Now, here's what I was talking about with specialist. I can stick a specialist over here. It gives us half a growth and 5 growth per year, plus an additional growth per year. But it also gives us some science per year. It does cost 30 civics, which is, that one gets used by these. We're getting 8 civics per turn. It takes us 4 turns to do this. I guess 8 times 4 is 32, so I guess it's a little bit of carryover, but effectively 4 turns, 4 years. I feel like this might be a good move, and we could build something else right now. I mean, a second warrior. We don't have the orders for another warrior. Festival obviously would be good. We are starting to get a little bit of discontent. We could do the treasury. I mean, I would love to do something to give us some orders, but I don't think we have anything that does that. So let's just go and do this. I think getting us a specialized farmer would be very, very useful. All right, I think we're almost right at time. And it looks like I got some food here anyway. So we're going to go ahead and put a cut in here now. That's a good time to put a cut in. We're on our way to our second city. We're already learning about all sorts of different cool, unique features of this game. But yeah, I'm really having a lot of fun playing this game so far. I've only played for a little bit, obviously. But it's looking like a lot of fun for me. I definitely think this has a place on the channel eventually. Whether or not it has a place now while it's still in early access, I don't know. We're at least going to finish out this playthrough. and we'll see how popular the video is. Please let me know what you think in the comments below about this game and these videos. And if you want to see more of this, please feel free to give me the hit the like button, because that tells me, hey, yes, this is the type of content I want to see, and that lets me know that I continue to do this, especially on the first video. I do appreciate you watching, though, and I hope you join me again next time. Thank you, and goodbye.